Cyril didn't just insult her. He snapped his fingers at her. Twice. Like she was a dog. You. Waitress. My wine's been sitting empty for 3 minutes. Do your job. The woman stood there. Calm. Didn't flinch. Just refilled his glass without a word. But what Cyril didn't know. That waitress had an IQ of 187. A former MIT doctorate candidate. And in less than 48 hours, she would humiliate him in front of 3 billion people. Let me take you back 6 months. Paulina Williams. Age 32. Former mathematics prodigy. She was 3 years into her doctorate at MIT when everything fell apart. Her advisor died suddenly. Heart attack. Mid-semester. And the new professor who took over? He didn't believe a black woman from the south side of Chicago belonged in advanced mathematics. He made her life hell. Questioned every proof. Dismissed her research. Told her she was better suited for teaching community college. Paulina fought for 8 months. But when the funding dried up and the harassment intensified, she made a choice. She walked away. No degree. No recommendations. $53,000 in student debt. She moved to New York with $700 and a suitcase. Got a job waiting tables at Marcello's, an upscale Italian restaurant in Midtown where hedge fund managers and tech billionaires came to be seen. She hated every second of it. But rent was due. Loans were due. And pride doesn't pay bills. 6 months into the job, she's working a private event. Some tech conference after party. 200 people. All wealthy. All important. And that's when she meets Cyril Hartwell. Billionaire. Tech mogul. Self-proclaimed genius. He made his fortune developing AI algorithms for financial modeling. Net worth just north of $8 billion. But Cyril's real reputation? He hosts something called the Apex Mathematics Challenge. Once a year. Lincoln Center. Broadcast globally. Cyril presents an unsolved mathematical problem. Offers $50 million to anyone who can solve it. It's part competition. Part ego trip. Because in 15 years, no one's ever beaten him. Not Stanford professors. Not DARPA researchers. Not Fields Medal winners. Cyril solves his own problems on stage. Live. Using quantum computing and AI-assisted modeling. And every year, he reminds the world that he's the smartest person in the room. So tonight, at this after-party, Cyril's holding court. Surrounded by admirers. Talking about this year's challenge coming up in 2 days. Paulina's refilling water glasses at the table next to him. Trying to be invisible. And she hears him say something that makes her stop cold. The convergence paradox. Took me 4 years to crack it. It's beautiful. Elegant. Unsolvable without quantum processing. Paulina freezes. Because she knows that proof. She studied it at MIT. Worked on variations of it for her dissertation. And unless she's completely wrong, Cyril just described a solution that has a fundamental error. She keeps moving. Keeps working. But she's listening now. Cyril's explaining the proof to some investor who clearly doesn't understand a word. And the more he talks, the more certain Paulina becomes. He's wrong. Not a little wrong. Catastrophically wrong. There's a sign convention error in the iterative sequence. Third branch. It flips without justification. The entire framework collapses. She almost says something. Almost. But then Cyril snaps his fingers at her. You. Waitress. My wine's been sitting empty for 3 minutes. Do your job. Everyone at the table goes quiet. Watching. Paulina looks at him. Holds his gaze for just a second. Then refills his glass. Says nothing. Walks away. But something shifts in that moment. Because Cyril laughs. Actually laughs. And says loud enough for her to hear. God. Where do they find these people? You'd think they could hire staff who pay attention. The table laughs with him. And Paulina keeps walking. Back to the kitchen. Sets down the wine bottle. Takes off her apron. Her co-worker, Mara, looks at her. You okay? Paulina nods slowly. I need 2 days off. 2 days? We're slammed this week. I know. But I need them. Mara studies her face. What are you doing? Paulina doesn't answer. Just grabs her coat and walks out. Because she's going to do something insane. She's going to enter the Apex Mathematics Challenge. The next morning, Paulina shows up at Lincoln Center. There's a registration desk for challengers. It's mostly empty. Because serious mathematicians don't bother anymore. Cyril hasn't lost in 15 years. The woman at the desk, Eunice, looks up. Here for the challenge. Yes. Eunice slides a form across. Entry fee is $500. Non-refundable. Paulina hesitates. That's half her rent. But she fills it out anyway. Pays with a credit card she probably can't afford to use. Eunice glances at the form. Professional affiliation? None currently. Education background? MIT. Mathematics. No degree. Eunice raises an eyebrow but doesn't comment. Just stamps the form. You're registered. Challenge is tomorrow night. 7 p.m. Main stage. Good luck. Paulina walks out, hands shaking slightly. Because there's no turning back now. The next evening, Lincoln Center is packed. 3,000 people in the audience. Cameras everywhere. This thing's being live-streamed to 200 countries. Cyril takes the stage in a custom suit that probably costs more than Paulina's annual salary. The crowd applauds. He soaks it in. Welcome to the 15th Annual Apex Mathematics Challenge. Tonight, I present a problem that has stumped the greatest minds in computational mathematics. The convergence paradox. He gestures to a massive screen behind him. Equations fill it. Dense. Complex. Beautiful in a way only mathematicians understand. I solved this 4 years ago. It took quantum computing, AI modeling, and 4 years of my life. The prize tonight is $50 million to anyone who can either solve it independently or find an error in my proof. He pauses, smiles. Though I assure you, there is no error. The audience laughs. And then a voice from the back of the auditorium. Actually, there is. Every head turns. Paulina's standing in the aisle, heart pounding, but her voice is steady. Cyril squints into the lights. Can't see who's speaking. I'm sorry, who are you? Paulina Williams. I registered yesterday, and your proof has a fundamental sign convention error in the third iterative branch. The room goes completely silent. Cyril's smile doesn't fade, but something flickers in his eyes. That's a bold claim. Would you like to come up here and explain it? Paulina walks down the aisle, every eye on her. She climbs the stairs to the stage, and that's when Cyril recognizes her. His smile falters. Just for a second. Wait, you're the waitress from Marcello's. Paulina looks at him. I was. But right now, I'm a mathematician, and your proof is wrong. The audience murmurs. Cameras zoom in. Cyril recovers quickly, turns to the crowd. Well, this should be entertaining. Please, show us. Paulina walks to the whiteboard at the side of the stage, picks up a marker, and for the next 12 minutes, she dismantles his proof. Line by line, step by step. She's not using computers, not using AI, just a marker and 15 years of training. The sign flips in the third branch without justification. The boundary conditions shift. The convergence assumptions fail. And by the time she's done, even the people who don't fully understand the math can see it. She's right. The room is dead silent. Cyril's standing there, face pale, staring at the board like it's speaking a language he doesn't recognize. Finally, the competition director, Joseph, steps onto the stage. He's been reviewing Paulina's work on a tablet, checking it against Cyril's original proof. Ms. Williams is correct. There is an error, a significant one. The room explodes. Cameras flash. People are shouting questions. Cyril's just standing there, frozen. Joseph raises his hands for quiet. According to competition rules, if an error is identified, the challenger wins the prize. $50 million to Paulina Williams. But Cyril suddenly comes alive. No. Wait. No. Everyone stops. Cyril turns to Joseph. I invoke the escalation clause. Joseph frowns. Mr. Hartwell, that's. I invoke it. The contract allows me to escalate the challenge if my proof is disputed. I'm doubling the prize to $100 million and increasing the difficulty. The crowd gasps. Paulina just looks at him. You're serious. Completely. 3 problems. Increasing difficulty. You solve all 3. You win $100 million. I solve them first. You get nothing. Joseph steps between them. Ms. Williams, you don't have to accept this. You've already won $50 million. Paulina looks at Cyril, at his smug expression, at the way he thinks money and power can erase being wrong. I accept. The competition becomes a spectacle. Problem 1. Advanced probability theory involving infinite nested distributions. Cyril uses his quantum computer. Takes him 23 minutes. Paulina does it manually. 18 minutes. The crowd loses their minds. Problem 2. Topological mapping of non-Euclidean convergent spaces. Cyril, sweating now. Takes him 31 minutes with full computational assistance. Paulina finishes in 26. With a marker and paper. And now the entire world is watching. Social media is exploding. Mathematicians are live tweeting. The live stream has hit 2 billion viewers. Then Joseph brings out problem 3. The final problem. The one designed to be unsolvable without computational aid. Cyril approaches it with his full tech setup. Quantum processors. AI modeling. The works. 40 minutes in, he's stuck. Visibly frustrated. His team's feeding him solutions, but nothing's working. Paulina's at her whiteboard. Just her. No computer. No assistance. And something's happening. She's not just solving the problem. She's reframing it entirely. She's seeing patterns no one else sees. Connections between number theory and topology and convergence analysis. A unified framework that makes the impossible suddenly clear. She writes for 90 minutes straight. Fills 6 whiteboards. And when she steps back, there it is. Complete. Elegant. Revolutionary. Joseph brings in verification teams. MIT, Princeton, Cambridge, Oxford. They review her work remotely, live-streamed for the world to see. 3 hours later, they confirm it. Not only is she right, she's created something new. A framework that advances the entire field. Something worth billions in applications for quantum computing, AI, encryption. The crowd stands. Applauds. 3,000 people on their feet. Cyril's just sitting there at his computer station, staring at nothing. Joseph hands Paulina a check. $100 million. But before she leaves the stage, she walks over to Cyril. Looks him in the eye. Next time you snap your fingers at someone, remember this moment. Then she walks off. 6 months later, Paulina's running the Institute for Intuitive Mathematics. Funded by her winnings. Teaching students from backgrounds like hers. People the system overlooked. And Cyril? He still hosts the challenge. But he never makes assumptions about people anymore. Because he learned the hard way that brilliance doesn't care about your job title. Doesn't care about your clothes or where you're from. It only cares about truth. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment. Have you ever been underestimated because of how you looked? And if you want more stories where the underdog destroys the arrogant villain, hit subscribe right now. Because we're just getting started.